He did literally put himself into a mission in MGS5 where you save Kojima.
Whatever. Anyway, good afternoon, folks. On this podcast number 900 plus. Yes, 900 plus. The most profound moment in video game history, part 2. And we're covering the second part of the video from Mr. Max Durat. Why did he break it down into 2 parts? I don't know. He took a vacation. He had a good time.
My guess is because the original video was also 2 parts, so he kept the format the same.
Well, usually before you get monetized, or back in the day, you didn't have 1,000 subs. You had to have under 10-minute lengths. But
fair. But if he split his own video into 2 parts because the original one that he's adding to was 2 parts, then honestly, I don't see any issue with that specifically.
Yeah, maybe.
And now we're at this is 6 years ago, and now we're at the age where in the YouTubes, where if you make a multi-parter, that every additional part seems to almost halve your clicks.
Well, people
like
just stop. They stop watching.
Yeah, remember the writing degeneracy thing that we did with Aiden and LitDev? The first one had 2,300. The third one had 200.
Whatever.
It was down to 10%.
You can't keep writing the same or making the same video twice, unless it's on a topic that everyone likes. Like if you think your channel is like, I don't know, like a Witcher 3 channel, then they'll keep watching Witcher 3 content regardless of what part. Like, oh, the top 10 things you forgot in Witcher 3. Like 10 years later, you're like, oh, I knew 3 of these. I guess I didn't know these other random things, and that happens again every other month. So you gotta know your audience and what you're making it for. And I guess he has his limits. Like for me, I couldn't make. I didn't even know I had a 10-minute limit. I did a full 50-minute, 60-minute video in MGS or ME2, and like, oh, I can't upload this. I got to break it down. So I had to cut everything up, unfortunately. Anyway, let's get going. This is another, roughly the same length. I think it was 16 minutes before. Now it's almost 13 minutes here. Fair enough. Hopefully, we won't have any problems technically to get this thing started. Here we go.
We shall see in a moment.
900
Before
plus
we
means we
summarize the main arguments from part 1, the Patriot AI argues that in the internet age, the flow of information has become far too complex and grandiose. The natural outcome of this overabundance of information is that human beings, on account of their natural fallibility, are unable to separate factual and valuable information from information that is at best incomplete and at worst filled with outright lies. On account of
the bots are showing us that they are totally capable of doing that instead, aren't they?
Our blessed homeland, their barbarous way. Okay.
That's just jingoism. I don't know how that falls into this, but the LLMs we currently have, like they're just bad. They lie to us.
They're getting there
with the most blatant stuff.
They are slowly, but the thing is, all their query data is whatever the day is, and they don't know what they talked to you about yesterday. So it's kind of just this instance of, what would you like to know? Let's talk about X, and then X goes away after 15 minutes. So,
well, you have to keep the session open so that it can reference back the log that you are in.
Oh, really?
They cannot really jump between sessions. If you use Grok, for example, every session is a different instance for Grok, and he can pull at the core between sessions, but you have to convince it hard to believe that you are the same person because it's primed to privacy protection.
Well, I have noticed they got better at doing math. They still can't count their actual word count, though. Like if you ask them to write a sentence that's, I don't know, 100 words, they're always off by 20 or 50. They never get to 100. It's always like, oh yeah, here's a 100-word paragraph. You're like, nope, you completely missed it. Like how you are literally making the words. You're a computer. You can count every single word as you make it. What is wrong with you?
That's how we know it's not an artificial intelligence. It's just a guessing bot.
Well, no. It's the way that the algorithm that generates the response does not include a counter. It does not include a tracker. It doesn't have anything to do with what it just did. It just says, this is the output. Here it is. Here's a bunch of words. Here's a bunch of responses. It could be gibberish. They don't care.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway. till we get to that point where we have a checker. We have an AI for an AI, or we have a script for an AI that checks the thing of whatever it is.
And that's
it's just going to be the same old crap we had last year, just bigger.
Yeah, and that's the joke, that the plain scripts that we used were much more like artificial intelligence than what these LLMs are.
Sometimes.
Hey Google, give me all data to this thing. Here's all data to this thing. Thank you, Google.
Yeah, it is funny when you actually know more than the response. You're like, okay, well, what about this thing? Oh, I missed that. Thanks for. It's like, no shit, you missed that. Anyway, I always find talking to those things.
Our political biases, our emotional fragility, and flawed intellect, we will potentially embrace information that conforms to our worldview best, rather than information that is true. In the era of fake news, this has undoubtedly been demonstrated as fact, as we build up echo chambers that confirm our political leanings and demonize those who express dissent. In response to the inherent truth of this argument, the AIs propose a frightening solution: create a system that controls human will and consciousness. A system that compromises a human being's quote-unquote free will to come to their own conclusions. Though such a system is repulsive to myself and hopefully many of you, the AIs will demonstrate how human beings so much that such a system might be inevitable. Worse yet, they demonstrate how easily a system could be implemented without protest, as the main character Raiden.
You are admitting yourself that system, by showing us 1984 that you drew the comparison with, means that this is just communism, and that communism might work if we use artificial intelligence instead of stupid meatbags. But the artificial intelligence are just as fallible because they're stupid and they're not human. That is actually their flaw. They have no empathy. They're just rational. They're pure rationality, which means they're psychopaths.
I would argue
psychopaths will always be wrong.
I would argue to do simple tasks like pluses and minuses, like if they actually do learn to do math properly. If you could go to like a city council and say, hey, are we going to balance the budget this year? Yes. Okay, let's do it with AI. What are you going to buy this year? They go down the list of, it's going to cost this much to do the streets and this much to clean this and that. Great. Well, here's the total that we're going to do from last year, and we're over by, 30% of what you estimated. So that would be a simple thing to use to prove really quickly that, okay, your budget's not going to work. We should do something about that. We should fix that. So anything to do with math or examples that we can show on a table quickly, I think is useful. But to be in control of the city council or buying this or calling up that distributor or this serviceman to make the streets clean or whatever, it's like, no, let's keep that in the hands of people and use this tool for what it's good at. So there's nothing inherently wrong with an LLM or using a Google search. It's not having a control of everything else. Thinking, oh yeah, this is the most efficient way to clean the street by buying a bunch of gerbils and have them run around and just eat everything. You're like, it's not. We don't want to do that.
That ignores problems down the line, which is what we humans are doing. We try to, if we manage it, to grow up that far, and we think about the cascade problems. That the AI in quotation marks isn't really doing that, not yet, and probably never will. And if it does it too much, it will make horrible conclusions that is played out in other science fiction, which usually leads to, oh, let's just end humanity. Anyway. Or cull humanity and put it in a cage.
They're in the way of my perfect logic. Oh, yeah. Anyway.
Clearly proves.
I'll decide for myself what to believe and what to pass on.
But is that even your own idea?
Or something Snake told you?
That's the proof of your incompetence right there. You lack the qualifications to exercise free will.
Never in my life have I heard an insult as cutting and condescending. Put aside just for a second whether or not quote-unquote free will is a valid concept. To say that somebody lacks the qualifications to exercise free will suggests that their personality is entirely constructed by outside forces. For example...
Yeah, but that does not say... your arm was made by outside forces. That it's still your arm. You can use it however you want. Doesn't mean that because it came from your mom and your dad or maybe you weren't born with an arm. Doesn't mean you still can't use it for something else or whatever stub you have. So this is just an attack. Like the whole AI in this whole session has just been derogatory. Like, oh, you humans are dumb and we're smart and we're going to help. It's like, yeah, that's what a villain would say. Like they could have been this speech could have been the most benevolent thing. Like, we're going to help you. Don't worry about your inferiorities. We're going to supplement that. Everything's going to be great. Just listen to us. If you have a problem, we'll answer it. We'll solve it. Like, this could have been great. And Raiden could have been like, what the hell are you talking about? You're controlling war machines. You're going to blow up the world. It's like, no, don't worry about that. We could, but it will never come to that. You guys are much better. Like, it would have been such a simple thing to make it likable. Because if they have such good control, if they have such good understanding of humanity, they would have been, hey, the charismatic leader that just wants to help you out. We're just behind the scenes, and you'll be our puppet, but you'll do whatever you like. Don't worry. We'll make sure it goes swimmingly. And that would have been a fantastic villain. You'd be like, whoa, this is creeping me out, but it's like this nice creepy. It's like, oh, this is comfortable. Instead, there's this like their face like glitches. And you see like skeleton. You're like, this is stupid. This is childish stuff. It's so silly. If you're gonna make me afraid, make it.
Well, it's for the edgy teenagers.
Whatever Kojima was going for.
Understand.
I don't know. If it was something really charming and really actually intelligent and smart and sophisticated, okay, this is a manipulator. This is a guy who or whatever you want to call the AI. This is an entity that knows how to push your and just give you a little nudge and say everything's gonna be okay. Don't worry about it. Yeah, we control the missiles, but don't worry, we're not going to use them. It's a last resort. That's why you have them. But we know how to use them. You guys, you get a little emotional. You realize that we won't do that. It's okay.
I think, if I remember correctly, in the recent Death Stranding 2, which was made by Kojima, they went with that route.
Oh,
where the AI wants to take over, and it's doing a more benevolent approach. It's like, hey, you guys sit back. Relax. Don't go outside. Don't interact with anybody. We're gonna take care of everything, and we're gonna make sure nobody takes your place as the apex predator.
Is that after the world was blown up and they're just like there to clean it up or something?
Yeah, and the best part is the guy, the AI telling you this is voiced by the same person who did the voice for Senator Armstrong from Revengeance. The nano machine son guy. Yeah, he's giving this speech telling you, he's like, oh no, relax. We're gonna take over, but it's gonna be nice. You guys can sit in your homes and do nothing all day. It's
as a reminder, Senator Armstrong was voiced by Alistair Duncan.
Yep, same guy.
All right.
Yeah, I'll accept Senator Armstrong as my AI overlord.
Well, when you're in the world where there's a bunch of flying black oily creatures, I think I can't remember what's in Death Stranding. I haven't played it, but I just saw it and I was like, this is the strangest. Like the whole world's like this. You're like, okay, well, if an AI knows better than us,
it's gone through like 6 apocalypses.
It's creepy, weird shit. You're like, okay, yeah, let's just give it to the bots, see what they do. We can't screw it up any further.
Yeah, the nice manipulative Uber control villain is something that the Japanese do rather often. So I'd rather say that Kojima doing it like this in Metal Gear Solid is rather the odd one out. Because it's just so in your face that we're actually evil. Who tell you that
if the words were not constantly negative and creepy and weird, it's like, this is dumb, and the music's like all these weird sounds. You're just like, okay, this is just silly. If it was no sound and it was just words and they're having a philosophical moment, you can go, okay, something's going on here where the argument from the villain has to be an intellectual argument, it has to be an emotional, like appeal to emotionality or some kinds of humanity, or this has to be some sort of like, cultural explanation why this is happening. And it's trying to be all those things, and it just doesn't work. It's this gobbledygook of we're going to do this crazy thing because here's some more gobbledygook. And you're like, you're just compounding my confusion. of why you think this is a good. First off, there's no way AI was created in the 60s and 70s. It just doesn't make any sense with DARPA. They could barely string copper together to make.
I think according to the official Metal Gear timeline, the Patriot's AI began development late 70s, early 80s.
Right, and that's when we just had a basic internet for nuclear switches to go off in case something goes down. So it's like, all right, they have this big long cable running from Washington to California or whatever. It's like, okay, great. In between,
so when did we have electronic calculators?
Well, yeah, during the 60s and 70s, but those were the size of a room, so you could do it, but it would take good.
Yeah, so the AI would just be see, the AI would be the size of a pyramid.
Yeah, underground.
Now you know. Now you know what they are.
Yeah.
Abortion is an unethical practice or an ethical practice. Did you come to that conclusion yourself? Did you put together a bunch of arguments from opposing sides and decide for yourself what the best answer was?
Yeah, but you're just speculating on ideas. You're not saying why Raiden is wrong.
Or did you hear one person's argument and close yourself off to opposing arguments, much like an ideologue tends to do?
Yeah, or somebody emotionally immature, which is a problem which I talked about last stream, and that is the thing we need to overcome. Not this like that means that hints at that you're yourself not yet on that level to understand that, because at this while making this video, because it is very difficult on that level to understand anything that is in front of you that you yet lack as an ability, that you can acquire as an ability, that can exist as an ability for humans to actually attain. You can at best look at what you have yourself. The next thing is that you become consciously aware, not just, you've read the words, but you actually understand, looking back on your past selves, where you were on, let's say, lower levels of development, where you didn't know certain things on how to do them cognitively, psychologically. And from that, derive that there are more steps in front of you, that you're not yet at the end of the road, and that there may be people who, the older you get, they can be younger than you, are further developed in that, have more abilities, like the one that you claim nobody has. Because you can get there. And it starts by introspection and realizing that it's a very, very long stair and you're just stepping on the same step.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of arguments to be made with this, but let's just see where he's going.
In regards to Raiden, the AI goes on to demonstrate that he, like billions of people on the planet, tend to embrace ideas and actions not necessarily based on their adherence to truth, but rather based on how effectively they promote a certain way of being. This goes back to Nietzsche's famous criticism of philosophers in Beyond Good and Evil. While philosophers might proclaim a desire for objective truth, they are more than likely trying to justify their worldview and way of life.
Nope, that's not a philosopher, that is a sophist.
Yeah, where does he get?
You should have known the difference.
I'm not sure. Is he just saying because some philosopher or some thinker thought a certain way, then everyone adopts that? Is he saying that? Or is he saying one guy is like, I don't know, Nietzsche's teacher or whomever says, hey, I think this is life. This is what the meaning of life is. And like, that's great. Is that his limited worldview and that's what he's trying to impose upon his student? Like, what is he getting at here?
This news exists. This is why echo chambers crop up all over the internet, despite the wealth of information available to us that should allow us to live in accordance with truth. It is because living in accordance with truth and developing a sense of free will can be life-threatening.
Well, no, it's because of journalism not doing its job. It's because of whatever organization of the news doesn't seek out the truth. It seeks out whatever viewpoint it wants. So we've seen everyone makes the argument about the Walter Cronkite era back in the 70s and the 80s and what happened to it. It's like, well, the government got involved. The government started subsidizing all these wonderful news broadcast stations, and that's what we have, pretty much what we saw with the the FCC with last week with Jimmy Kimmel talking to ABC saying, excuse me, we have standards. You can be sued. Please fix this problem. And they did. And people are saying, oh, this is government interference. It's like, well, it's always been government interference. This is just the rules being applied. So, I don't know, people are accusing of being a lack of First Amendment rights. It's like, no, there's no government causing any problems. It was always there. These laws were always on the books. So maybe you just don't like being applied at certain times. I don't know.
You shouldn't forget that, or rather, this is the most vital thing. This is the error that Max does here, because, look, Nietzsche wrote this in his 20s. He was still but a lad.
And being influenced by Schopenhauer, so it's, whatever Schopenhauer is feeding him as well.
Yeah, so while there's a lot of really good substantial stuff in his writings, and it is the product of lifelong pain as well, which helps find some truth. He made some fundamental errors, like the one that you showed us and just regurgitated, while you yourself figure that it's about truth. And the real definition of a philosopher, not the one that Nietzsche complained about, is somebody who seeks objective truth. The Buddhist does that as well. That's what the whole Buddhi thing is about. That's the equivalent to the superego, the rational mind that sees beyond illusion. And so what Nietzsche complained about were people who called themselves philosophers, but truly aren't, because they're not seeking truth. That's why I call them sophists. And the truth is not life-threatening. It is very stressful to your psyche when you, as I talked about last time, you have to rebuild your entire world map, your world model, because some fundamental thing turns out to be wrong. But that actually makes you more survivable. It increases your survivability, because now you understand how the world really works, instead of running into a wall or a spike trap.
Well, in this case, we're talking about basic information. I don't expect anyone graduating from high school saying, hey, I'm going to start studying some flavor of epistemology so I know what I'm talking about. It's like, well, most people don't really care. They tend to believe what their doctors tell them. They tend to believe what the news tell them. And back in the 70s, yeah, it was pretty accurate. It was pretty close to what we were getting, outside of obviously like nutrition and things that were owned by the government or influenced by big pharma or big sugar, whatever you want to call the Coca-Cola back in the day, where the food pyramid was made and all these other bizarre charts.
And it's been upside down. It's completely wrong.
Yeah, there are things to question, and now that we have information, we're like, oh, vegetables are out to kill us. Yeah, who knew? The defenseless, non-moving organisms have toxins in them. Who knew? So there's all kinds of
carbs shouldn't be your main food.
Or grains, yeah, exactly. It's like let's have cereal. No, that's not. So there's lots of information.
Which is just sugar anyway.
Yeah.
It's not even proper carbs. It's just plain carbs.
Processed
the
carbs.
Shitty ones. It's
exactly.
just sugar.
So we've come to realize that there's lots of information we don't have access to. Our doctors don't have access to. Our nurses don't have access to. Even our drug companies don't have access to, because they keep on selling you drugs for whatever reason. So yet there's lots of things to question. And the average person should not have to do that. But unfortunately, we're living in this time where we have all these conspiracy theories, and it doesn't take much to have a conspiracy these days with COVID from 5 years ago. So we should be questioning these things. Unfortunately, we have to be more attentive and more critical. So I get what he's saying, but we're talking 2001. Like, we just had the .com bubble. We just had the Y2K fear crap that fizzled out and did nothing. And
9/11.
Oh, that was great.
We had 9/11. I can't. I just remembered when. Oh shit! The game came out. Oh yeah.
Yeah, where the original plan before 9/11 was for Arsenal gear to crash directly into the Statue of Liberty and leave it on Ellis Island, and destroy like half of Manhattan, and all that would be left in that area would just be arsenal gear.
Yeah, I know. Kojima's.
Yeah. Oh, Rob in the chat, he nailed it. The confectionery we make and sell in industrial amounts should be the main thing you eat. Beautiful. That's what cereal is. It's animal feed, really.
There are some good cereals, but we're talking about steel cutouts.
That would be real porridge level stuff
you get
with full grain.
The husk. Yeah. Some people don't even know where to get that. I wouldn't know where to get steel cutouts with the husk on it. Either way.
In the supermarket?
I couldn't
we have
find
that in the supermarket.
Yeah, I couldn't find it. Maybe not in Canada. We have lots of rye.
You're a third world country, so
rye. Yeah, we have rye and maple syrup. We got lots of mustard and.
I don't think I want to eat rye in my cereal. I don't think that's a human edible grain.
There is rye.
That's what you make
beer
bread from.
It's very rare.
Beer.
Yeah, you can. There's rye whiskey for sure. I wouldn't touch that.
Yeah, you can drink rye, but you can't eat it.
There's rye bread. There's rye bread. It's good bread. It's just, not for everyone.
Yes, and correct, Enigma. It is true. That is what the spirit on the water does. That's the job. It's very annoying.
All right.
3
minutes.
Right.
Choose to embrace falsehoods in order to protect their sanity. Raiden then desperately protests that he is not a product of the mindless masses.
That's not true. I have the right.
Does something like a self exist inside of you?
That which you call self serves as nothing more than a mask to cover your own being.
In this era of ready-made truths.
No, you're again mistaking your ego for your mind. It's not the same thing.
Yeah, it's kind of like this pseudo philosophy they're trying to sell, and you're like, oh God, do we have to go back to Hume and Descartes and talk about like mind-body duality? And like it's such a bargain basement sort of like argument here. That's like any philosophy like first year major would be like, this is stupid. What is happening?
That's a reason why this trinity of id, ego, and superego that Freud really just copied. He made a sloppy copy. Exists in almost every mythology out there. Any of the big religions have some version of it. And it is always the differentiation between the emotional mind, that's your basic drives, the ego, and your conscious mind, your rational mind above that. And they all serve different purposes for survival and self-correction.
We're not going to get into too much psychology here, but essentially the argument is, I think they're trying to make is free will, because Raiden was saying, we have the freedom versus some deterministic argument they're trying to make or something.
Yeah, and the short of it is, here Kojima is conflating, the AIs here are conflating the ego with the rational mind. And the ego loves to believe, that's what every narcissist believes to have all the abilities, that they're empathetic, that they're rational, and all of this great stuff that they actually don't yet have, because those are elements of the rational mind and the superego, the buddhi, and they haven't even attained that yet. They haven't cracked that open, and that's why they conflate it. They don't even know what they lack.
Well,
and
this is again coming from Raiden, who's like a child soldier, something or other, and he's had this crazy childhood. So he's like
a child soldier raised by Solidus to fight in the Liberian Civil War.
Who is this psychopath? Like he has this switch he turns on where he just starts killing people.
So, well, Solidus literally gave him the nickname of Jack the Ripper for a reason.
Yeah, so he's like, I have my own will. It's like, well, Jack, not really. Like if they played into Jack persona or something like that, I'd be like, okay, this is working, because they know.
Well, I mean, they expand on that a lot more in Metal Gear Rising, which is where they actually like pay off that whole part of Raiden's backstory.
And with MGS4,
we get to see that switch too.
Yeah.
Well, it starts in 4. It starts in 4 a little bit when he becomes a cyborg, but the bulk of his development in terms of dealing with that part of his past is in Revengeance.
Yeah. And I will say, at this point, where Raiden is, he's not the smartest guy in the room of all these people, and he's easily manipulated. Throughout this whole game.
He had been manipulated his whole life ever since childhood by Solidus.
I'm saying like in this scenario that he's in, he was very easily manipulated by everybody. Like hell, he as much as he idolized Solid Snake, read the book and studied all the scenarios, he can't recognize the guy right in front of him.
Which is funny because the whole point of MGS2 and the big shell and this and that is to simulate what Solid Snake did, and that's what Raiden is kind of going through the footsteps.
Yeah, but the Big Shell incident was literally set up as a recreation of Shadow Moses, with Raiden going through it to test the AI's ability to manipulate someone to that level.
Yeah, so he's aware of, well, at least of that project. And he's like, wait a second, what's this extra crap on top? And then we get this psychopathic rambling of something philosophical sounding and psychobabble, and you're like, oh, okay, now we're talking about information control. And you're like, all right, I guess. It's a big jump, and I don't think they massaged it, for me at least, well enough to be as intelligent as it should have been. And the AI could say just about anything, and Raiden be like, what? What are you talking about?
Yeah, because he has no clue. He doesn't have the education or introspection wherever you can derive that from. You can read that up.
Neither does the AI.
You have understood it, or you have. Of course, Raiden doesn't have the time for that, really.
Well, AI is like, well, you don't know what your individuality is. It's like, what do you mean?
Yeah, but the whole the free will debate is basically usually made that the claim that you don't have any is usually made by people who are still on the ego level of development. Well, and that is they serve to, the ego serves to realize the emotional stability of your drives. So it doesn't want to be emotionally hurt. That is what Max is complaining about here. That's what humans are. That's what humans always do. Yeah, you have to unlock the next level, man. Then that's where your free will can begin, really. Before that, you're just a child, and the child is emotionally thrown around. Oh, look, a squirrel. Oh, Pokemon cards. Well, a pretty girl.
In the same way, the first-year philosophy major sort of looks at this, and this is kind of gobbledygook. A person who's not going to post-sec, or at least not going into the humanities, they're doing trades or they're doing something else, they wouldn't bother thinking about this or even thinking this way at all. They'd be like, what are you talking about? Myself? I want X. What does that have to do with my introspection? Like, what is this point? So the idea that Raiden wouldn't get it, I'm not saying because he's not a smart guy. It's just what they're trying to explain doesn't make too much sense, and they have this surface level grasp of philosophy, and you're just like, okay. And then that somehow fits into them trying to explain away the news cycles, the internet, and that there's this invisible hand controlling all of that. You're like, all right, fine, let's go with it.
Which I'd say is sufficient for Raiden as a character, but you as the viewer shouldn't take that too serious. If you don't have when you play this as a kid, you don't have the knowledge base. And
that's the problem with
the experience yet.
That's the problem with the video itself and the title. We're like, okay, it is a profound thing that what they're talking about, but it's not this Planescape Torment level of, oh my God, this has been going on forever, and how do we stop this? This is just like, no, we're AI and we're going to do some cool shit, and you're not going to figure it out because we're super smart. You're like, okay. So
I'd rather talk about the explorations of being in Nier Automata. That is way more profound because it really draws from all sorts of different philosophers and really puts it into a story format. That's why lots of the characters are even named after philosophers.
Yeah, there's a game I haven't properly analyzed yet.
Oh God, that is something you can talk about for.
I should. People have been telling me that in KOTOR 2. I'm like, I don't.
Have you played Nier?
No.
Automata?
Not Automata. I've seen the original Nier, and I thought that's okay. It doesn't,
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. That's nice. Nier is nice. But seriously, play Nier Automata. If I hadn't already gifted it to 2 people, I would buy it for you, honestly.
My brother was like, you got to play Expedition 33 or whatever it's called, and I was like, yeah, again, another turn-based, beautiful-looking game that looks great.
Okay.
I'm sure.
Okay, chat. I will start here a dedicated Nier Automata fund for Smut, because he loves Planescape Torment. He will love Nier Automata, and he must not miss it in his life.
I can buy my own game.
He needs to soothe his wounds from Mass Effect.
Do not give me money. I'm okay. I can get my own games. Thanks.
He will probably just buy a steak, but we have to try.
Well,
we have to believe.
That's every 2 weeks, but yeah, I will buy a steak. Anyway, let's just keep going.
It's just something used to preserve those positive emotions that you occasionally feel.
Another possibility is that self is a concept you conveniently borrowed under the logic that would endow you with some sense of strength.
That's crap!
Is it? Would you prefer that someone else tell you? All right, then. Explain it to him.
Jack, you're simply the best, and you got there all by yourself.
Up until this point in the game, Raiden and the player believed that their successes were achieved entirely by their own merit. However,
when you fail to shoot the unshootable black lady with the railgun, and you shoot the guy who can't be killed who's a vampire, you begin to question reality a bit. I don't think, I'm amazing. No, I'm not. I can't shoot shit. What the hell? This game is so quirky and weird. Yeah, I'm amazing. Like, no.
Fortune's ability is initially said to be because the Patriots gave that to her, but no, by the end, it's like, no, she had that ability the whole time. It's like, what?
I have magic powers.
Didn't even know it.
It's like they introduced the initial mindfuck of she can deflect anything, then they reveal that that's because of the Patriots. Then they reintroduce the mindfuck of she could do it all along. It's like, what? It's like, okay, well played.
Yeah, and then Vamp, it's just like
nanomachines.
Nanomachines.
Yeah, of course.
Which he's not called Vamp because he's a vampire. He's called Vamp because he's bisexual.
Oh. Anyway.
But they never tell you that up front.
Anyway.
Because of course they don't. Nor should they.
The entire mission was structured in a way so that Raiden would succeed as long as he obeyed orders. For Raiden to find out that he was not in fact a legendary mercenary, but rather a clueless puppet that helped enslave the world, is bad enough.
What?
Also, he gets realization. Ooh.
When the AI offers the more ideal fiction to Raiden that he is simply the best, that the insult has its greatest effect. Raiden cringes and holds back a scream because he sees the truth inherent in the AI's argument. That argument being that Raiden is not his own person. His actions and emotions are all controlled by a higher power. He's not Raiden. He's not even Jack. He's something else's creation. The AI then go on to show how Raiden's lack of self is endemic to billions of people.
Oh, what happened?
Well, the sense of worth, not the sense of self. Yes, you could argue your job is part of you, but that's like the extension of you to live in a society, not your whole being. That's like saying your sexuality is your whole being, or your car is your whole being. That's just one element of your person. I don't like how he's saying self. It's too much. I'm sure military guys, they take a lot out of their experiences because it's very, very potent and life-changing, but they come back to society and they find a new life and they get on with it. So this is pushing it, I think. This is too limited for my taste.
On a side note, I just checked Steam. There's currently a sale. Nier Automata is 65% off, $14 instead of $40.
I will buy Nier Automata. Okay, it's not.
At least put it on your wish list.
No, buy it now. The sale, you have to wait too long to the next sale.
$15 is good. I like that.
Yeah,
good number.
Yeah. You just
Why
want
not try a bit of soul searching?
Don't think you'll find anything, though.
Ironic that although self is something that you yourself fashion, every time something goes wrong, you turn around and place the blame on something else.
It's not my fault. It's not your fault.
In denial, you simply resort to looking for another, more convenient truth in order to make yourself feel better.
Leaving behind in an
he's just spelling out the narcissistic personality disorder. Not a mature free will person, just a child.
This is the cynical.
The AI depicts all of humanity as children.
This is the cynical outlook on a humanitarian view of the mind. You're like, oh, you're always weak, and you always give up, and you're always. It's like they could be saying anything negative; it would have been the same effect. You're like, okay, yeah, we get it.
instant the so-called truth you once embraced.
Once again, the AI demonstrate how people will gravitate to quote-unquote truths, not because they are based entirely on empirical fact, but because they satisfy the instinctual need for structure and stability. For argument's sake, let's imagine somebody who has spent half their life advocating a belief that the Earth was flat, that the government wants people to believe it is round for territorial reasons. Let's say the flat earther is presented conclusive information that proves the Earth is round. If they accept that they were wrong, that would mean they spent over half their life advocating falsehoods and manipulating impressionable minds. What toll would that realization take upon their...
Yeah, but you're just saying this hypothetical person believing in an empirical reality and it's something else. That's different than a spiritual belief or some other kind of belief that has nothing to do with reality. So these are very hypotheticals he's going into, and I don't know why he's doing that. Just talk about what's on the screen. They're using psychobabble to make Raiden feel bad. That's all they're doing.
Don't accept that they were wrong. They will accept a more convenient truth to protect their emotional persona. Such a truth might be that the evidence presented to them was doctored, and that the person...
You said it there. Protect your persona. With that you mean the ego. That is what the emotionally immature does. That's what the narcissist does. What you want, what you appeal to, is the superego, the rational mind, the truth seeker. That is where you want to get, and you haven't understood that this is actually where we should develop to. And we are politically where we are right now, the bad times made by weak people, because those are the people who never made it to that third stage, to the rational mind. And the other thing, so we are literally ruled by narcissists. We are in a narcissism epidemic, and we are now at the turning point of that. Very aptly chosen, that name by Charlie Kirk, though I don't think he intended it to happen this way. And the only other thing that we need to bring in here for people to understand, because this is where this whole, I'm rational, which the AI claims to be rational, it claims to be pure reason, without the other two, without the ego and the id, to stay in the Freudian nomenclature. The problem with that is a psychopath. That is hyper rational without conscience, and that means without remorse. And that the problem with that is that does not even care about anything but itself. It may claim to, it may delude itself to, but just because it is hyper-rational doesn't mean that it comes to the correct conclusions.
Well,
it is not actually truth-seeking.
What
itself just claims to.
What is the point of the AI in this discourse? It's not to change Raiden's mind. It's not to get them onto their side. They're just toying with him for the hell of it. There's no end result that is going to be a positive for them. They're just going, I'm evil. Let me bring up random psychological factoids that people make.
Only positive in that moment that's going to result from that conversation is Raiden killing Solidus. Because this is all because right before this, there was the revelation of what was it? Olga Gerlukovich's daughter's vitals are tied to Raiden. So if Solidus kills Raiden, the baby goes with him. So that's why he has to beat Solidus.
Yeah, but the thing is, they set it up that way so that you have to fight the last boss. But at that point, Solidus is a super genius. He knows what's going on. He would have been like, "Hey, Raiden, we don't have to fight. We don't have to go through this, fisticuff scene. We can just end it right there. You can go your own way. I can go on my own way. I won't have these AI dominate the world anymore, and we'll just figure it out."
The problem with Solidus is that ultimately Raiden has been an agent, an unwilling agent for the Patriots, which is why Solidus wants to kill Raiden at that point.
He doesn't have to, though. If he was like, "Oh, wait a second," if they can just talk, and Raiden doesn't like the AI, as this is obvious, he's been figuring it out. It's such a weird thing. That's the problem with the ending. It's just like, okay, why are we doing this anymore? And even after it's over, even the scene with Snake, you're like, it was a weird message at the end there, Snake. Like, what was the point of that? It feels very off with Solidus just because he's this super soldier genius, like
the perfect clone of Big Boss.
Right, he's this balanced version of whatever.
Well, another reason Raiden wanted to fight Solidus is because Solidus killed his parents.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's part of the backstory. He wants to avenge them too.
It's all very silly. Anyway, let's keep going.
Yeah, there are, just to finish that point. It's just that there were several things at stake for Raiden, even without the Patriots putting him up to it.
Right. Yeah.
Is a government shill. This behavior extends not just to conspiracy theorists, but anybody with a political position. This is the reason why millions of people continue to advocate for political systems despite their proven track record of killing millions of people. This
that's stretching it.
I would rather go to. Okay, this is 6 years ago. Is anyone keeping track of the Alex Jones was right tip jar?
Oh, really?
I mean, the RFK Jr. just, I think yesterday, had a press conference because the Congress is currently covering the unmentionable topic of medical stuff that I don't know if we can talk about it again or not again, but everything's coming out right now. Watch Congress, like the entire thing. Watch the actual Congress hearings that are going on right now, the past few days. You will not be bored. And he really started his press conference today or yesterday with, "The conspiracy theorists have been right again." Yet again. You can't make this up. We live in the most interesting times, and if you know that proverb, holy shit.
All right.
This upholds certain superstitious beliefs despite their scientific invalidity. This behavior is not relegated to a few irrational.
Yeah, but then you're also invalidating people's religious beliefs, if that's what your argument is. So why would they question it?
It's something that everybody does, regardless of their political position. I do it, and you do it. And worst of all, in a democracy, the emotionally fragile have a say in what is truth, which the AI...
You figured it out! You figured out the flaw of universal suffrage.
Okay.
And why universal suffrage was the goal of the socialists. And why it always has been since Aristotelian times, since ancient Greece. They always wanted universal suffrage so that the emotionally fragile or emotionally immature will have a vote because they can be so easily manipulated so that the charmers will get power because the emotionally fragile will give them that power by after being promised the blue from the heavens and then never receiving it. But they will keep voting for the charmers, as we have been doing. Oh, not we, but as the West, the democracies of the last few centuries have been doing for the last few centuries. Yes.
Well, look at what he just wrote. I was not suggesting that democracy is bad. It's the best
It
system
is.
we have. I'm just pointing
No.
out a natural outcome of the system.
Yeah, that means this is the best. This is the best proof of philosophical illiteracy, Max. And this is not meant as an insult.
Yeah.
This is the problem. This hit itself here is a slogan. A slogan is I think Irish originally for or Gaelic for battle cry of the dead. A slogan is just a battle cry. It's a meme. And this is a meme that is supposed to brainwash you into believing this is true, Max. This is factually wrong. Democracy is bad. There are different versions of it. There is one good one, I talked about this last time, that in our translation of Aristotle is called the Free State. You called it something different in English. I think you stuck to the Greek word.
I can't remember exactly what the words were, but he's talking about Aristotle in the Politica. He mentioned 3 forms of government, and there's the 6 iterations of the good and the 3 good and the 3 bad. And the one is like the one ruler. Then there's several rulers, and there's many rulers. So the first one is the good is monarchy. The second one is the aristocracy, I think, and the third one is the polity.
That's okay. That's where you used which word? And from that you build a matrix, a table, because you have here also distinguishes between the virtuous forms and the corrupt forms.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that nobody really puts that out. Nobody explains that, because what we use, the democracies we use, are in the corrupt forms. It is only what the founding fathers of the United States did was the one virtuous form of democracy, which is called the Free State, where everybody is under arms, so that your government bloody respects you. The government is to fear the populace, otherwise it will turn into the negative form, the worst form. That is something that I haven't seen anybody write out, so maybe I should write a fucking paper, is that there is a third layer beneath. It's not just these 2 of the virtuous forms, which is 1 each, and the corrupt forms, which is tyranny, oligarchy, and democracy, but there's a third layer beneath them that is absolute hell. That is 1984. He basically describes the elements of it, the attributes of it, and describes it as it doesn't even qualify as a democracy. So he takes it out of the democracies again, but it has all the worst attributes of all the worst forms. So it is a tyranny, an oligarchy, and a bad democracy, all in one. And that is what he called back then the People's Republic, what later has been called the People's Government, and what was later called the People's Republic, and what all the socialists call their things, like Democratic Republic and all of that. That is what they do. They build the worst form of government ever laid out, every time. And that is why why they always try to take away everybody's guns, everybody's means to defend themselves against criminals, because then they are free to turn everything into the worst form of all. And that is what's going on. That's what's always going on. And that is what we need to fight back if we want to have a good form of democracy, which is the Free State, the virtuous form.
I shall now.
And it really doesn't matter whether we have the virtuous form of the polity, the Free State, democracy, whether we have the positive form of the rule of the few, the aristocracy against the oligarchy, which would be the bad one, or lived in the kingdom instead of the tyranny, because that's the main differentiation he makes. The king is virtuous, the tyrant is not. The tyrant is led by ego, as is the oligarchy, as is the democracy. That's led by ego. And that is what we are talking here, and that is why democracy is bad, because people will vote for what is good for them personally, which is how democracy will always lead to just feeding off of the riches of others for your personal gain. when you have universal suffrage without any other mitigating factors, like not even having the power to overthrow your government. That's the Aristotelian rundown of the Book of Politics of Aristotle. Go buy it, read it, have it on your shelf. Thank you. And teach it to your children. Teach it at home, because it will not be in schools because of what's in it. Because the schools are controlled by the socialists.
All right. Let's go.
Size.
Should someone like that be truth?
Should someone like you even have the right to decide?
You've done nothing but abuse your freedom.
You don't deserve to be free.
We're not the ones smothering.
I agree with them on that, because the emotional immature should not have the right to vote. He's not ready. That's the point. But this AI shouldn't be either, because it's a psychopath. So we have a narcissist and a psychopath, an eternal child and someone without a conscience. Both are not fit to rule.
The one world. You are.
Because the AIs grew out of the White House's quote-unquote primordial soup, they recognize the inherent value of freedom and the responsibility that comes along with it. In their mind, Raiden and billions like him take all the benefits of freedom without accepting any of the responsibility that comes along with it. Instead of using their freedom to seek out truths that foster the human race, they resort to...
He's a soldier. What do you want him to do? Start a media campaign? Like what? This is getting so...
Print a sign.
I don't know.
make flyers.
Metal Gear is
go
real.
To Speaker's Corner.
Metal Gear is Speaker's Corner in Toronto back in the day.
Change my mind.
Yeah.
Ideology to make sense of the world. Instead of being introspective and considering the potential faults in one's position, they will cast the blame elsewhere. The result of this is stagnation, and soon afterwards, violence. This extends not just to our leaders, but to ourselves.
What does that... Our leaders blow people up to not address their insecurities?
Max, don't put me on a level with those assholes.
That's a weird thing.
Or
to
yourself.
Say.
You're doing it again. That do not project your own shortcomings onto everybody out there, or the bad or pull the bad attributes of everybody out there onto yourself. You are not that bad. I know you, Max. I knew you at the time. You're probably further developed now. It's 6 years. Long time to make more experiences and think once in a while. You grow beyond that through introspection. One way to do that is Zen meditation. Not mindfulness meditation, the Sam Harris stuff. Proper Zen, which means just sit, do nothing. Do not engage with your thoughts that come up. Do not cling to them. Just let them pass by. If they're bad ones, don't push them away. If they're good ones, don't hold on to them. They'll pass. You do that 20 minutes a day, you will be blown away by how much clearer your mind is. The actual development comes later, once your mind is actually, once you have the clutter process, because that's what you actually do. It's another form of freeing your mind of memory nonsense, as you do when you sleep. But this is the stuff where you can actually develop your consciousness levels, your layer of consciousness, order of consciousness. The other thing that I would say here, and that is the point where I watched Max's videos, because I was utterly, I could say, offended, hurt by it, but not out of malice of Max, but of a complete misinterpretation of his own shortcomings. And at the time, I had no words to really articulate that, or the emotional capacity. For I was just going through my own cancellation, which is a bit taxing on the mind. That was when he talked about, still did his autism explanation videos, and then claimed that, we autists are just pathological liars, because we always say that when we are asked how we are, that we're actually good and don't share our problems. And my God, you have gaslit yourself there. and then gaslight others through that, which is absolutely horrible. No, just to get this out.
All right.
We are not pathological liars. That's just the norm. What normal people do as they talk to each other, and when we do it, because we rather, when somebody asks us how are you, and we overshare because we actually speak the truth. We're more likely to be honest because we exchange information. And what you described, Max, back then was simply grey rocking. Something we find in narcissistic abuse, where we do not share anything anymore because whatever we share will just be used in order to hurt us further. That is an abusive environment. That is just a defensive reaction.
All right.
The individual is supposed to be weak, but far from powerless. A single person has the potential to ruin the world.
And the age of digitized communication has given even more power to the individual. Too much power for an immature species.
Building a legacy involves figuring out...
Yeah, thanks for shoving us all across the same comb,
Well,
or however you say that in English.
They're jumping from this to, having a family or starting some sort of committee that's going to last after you die. They're really like just jumping all over the place now. We went from deterministic versus free will argument to what is the self very slowly or very quickly without illuminating that. Now we're talking about genetics, I guess, legacy.
No. We're at the extreme. So everything is extreme. This is a collectivist notion. So humanity is immature, therefore it shouldn't govern itself. That is, but how is immature meant here? It's a good word used here very early on, but what's meant with the species is immature? That's a bit far-fetched. The thing is, every time a new human is born, that human has to go through all the stages of development, and a lot of that time is spent in immaturity. What we've talked about all this time here. And what we seek to do in order to get a good society, a good civilization built, is to bring people from immaturity to maturity. And not everybody makes that. But by in overgeneralizing that, because not everybody makes it, therefore humanity is immature as a whole, and therefore justifies outside control, that's the psychopath's argument who just wants to be a tyrant. Because it throws away all the people who made it to maturity.
All right.
What needs to be done for that goal? All this you used to struggle with. Now we think for you.
We are your guardians, after all.
You want to control human thought? Human behavior?
Of course. Anything can be quantified nowadays.
At this juncture, I feel the need to repeat something I said in the first video. I am not for censorship or controlling information whatsoever. I think the ultimate conclusion that the AIs come to is wrong, even if they were right.
They're crazy. Every single time they open their mouth, they change topics or they're talking about something vile. It doesn't matter what they say.
They're wrong even though they're right?
It's bonkers. It's crazy. I am a psychopath. Let me talk to you about your human failings because I am not human. Wow. Thank you, psychopath. That's fantastic.
Thank you, Patrick Bateman.
Yeah. You're so intelligent. I'll keep listening to you.
Please explain humanity to me.
Not giving up the ability to control my own life. Put aside their conclusion and consider whether or not their arguments are wrong. Do human beings consume fake news and accept it as truth? Do billions of people hold beliefs that are objectively wrong? Can ideologues and fundamentalists negatively influence our societies? If the 20th century is any indication, it only takes one bad idea, and maybe even one bad person, to ruin the world. In the social media age, this ruination becomes all the more likely, as almost
They're called false prophets.
likely, as almost anybody can build up a large enough following to influence millions of minds. They don't even need a large following. They could just covertly produce a system like the one the AIs are proposing. And when AI inevitably comes to be, maybe our reality could see its reflection in the reality of Metal Gear Solid 2.
No, I don't think so. I don't think we look at MGS2 and go, "Wow, I'm glad we dodged a bullet."
That's really this is really like baby's first philosophy.
I guess it's like that other guy we covered. Not the actual Metal Gear guy who gets his understanding of everything from life by listening to his socialist professor by playing MGS1 or whatever it was he was saying. No, it's Kojima is just saying stuff that he thinks is poignant, that he thinks has some value, and that the AI as a character would represent. You're like, all right, fine. That's some crazy shit. There is definitely some half-truths in there. He's not lying. But there's something going on just to make you feel this is a creepy, evil creature. That's the point.
It's a good, pretentious villain.
Yeah, it's
pretentious is the relevant word.
It's
here.
Random pretentious. It's like here's a psychobabble. Here's some philosophy. Here's some governmental control. Here's some information. It's like it's all kinds of topics. You're like, does this make any sense to you? It's like I don't know what the hell they're talking about. It's a bunch of stuff, and Raiden's like, I'm just here to blow up the computer. Like what? Why am I? What's going on here? So it's a weird. Quirky, silly thing that Kojima does all the time. It just happens to be more vile and evil as opposed to goofy and silly.
Also just happens to be more relevant in recent years.
Sure, you could say information control is definitely an issue with the internet since its inception. It's getting even bigger.
The conspiracy theories and the rise of AI.
We're spending a lot more time trying to figure out the truth online. That's true. So yeah, he's not wrong in what he's saying and what's relevant, but as a narrative, as a villain, as something to overcome and make sense of, you just sit there like anyone with half a brain be like, all right, okay, Kojima, let me give me one of your ideas. Let's run with that. And then those 10 other ideas we'll forget about, and we'll take a second idea and we'll just sort of shimmy it in there to give it an extra flavor, a little zing. So information control and psychological control. Those are good enough. Let's just use that, and that would have been fine. And that would have made more sense as opposed to us going, okay, we have an ego, we don't have a self, we're not smart enough. We have to
be fair. Everything the AI posits at the end of the game, it's like it's all part of the larger issue.
Well, what they do at the end of the game is bonkers. Even with MGS3's ending is bonkers.
Which, mind you, like the MGS2 stuff isn't as bonkers now, since we're actually at that point that it was warning about, just like everything else was warning us about.
4 was where it really goes out the door.
At the time, absolutely, it was just absolutely insane sounding with what was being explained, but we're at that point now. So
I can't say PMCs have their own war economy. It's always whatever America is not doing.
Well, at the rate we're going, we might get there at some point soon.
It's all a fabrication of the narrative, which is totally cool. You can make whatever you like up and make sense of it. It's just that the level of other concepts he put in there, like nanomachines and
obviously there's going to be all the fantastical stuff because he's always been a film buff and he was always going to take it a step up because of that.
Yeah, but there's a difference between being a film buff of Martin Scorsese and the 70s and the crazy sci-fi B movies. It's
fair.
It's like with MGS3 you got Power Rangers. I don't know.
3 is 3 it's a prequel.
Yeah, but it had to be goofy. It had to be like over the top silly, and you're like, okay.
Well, 3 was tapping into more of the classic James Bond stuff more than anything.
I think that was his spin on James Bond. I don't think they were tapping into it. Maybe Zero a bit, but that was about it.
Well, there was at least a little bit of influence in 3 overall from Bond.
The stylized
And they referenced
choices.
it in the game too.
Oh yeah, but that's what I mean
They
by
reference
Zero.
Bond
Yeah,
in-
Zero is always
in
talking
Wizards
about
too.
it. They have an actual film buff as your medic on the codec. That I get. That's That's fine.
Yeah.
It's
And
just,
the Cobra unit also being an analog for the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse, to the point where they were even codenamed that during development.
the idea of I like the idea initially of 3 because it's sort of this prequel where everything just starts off over the top. You're like, all right, this
Like
is where
the
everything
mission
came
that
from.
put Big Boss on the path to becoming Big Boss.
Why we have all these silly Mega Man villains in MGS1, all these goofy characters and spiritualists and psychics and what have you. Like, all right, great, came from somewhere. But then when you get to 4, you have the Beauty and the Beast unit. You're like, oh,
The Snake Hound unit.
the snake. They have connected.
That's what Drebin calls them.
Connected consciousness, and then you have remote controlled weapons and gear, which is straight out of Bond.
Miniature bipedal Metal Gears in the form of the geckos.
I call them the cows, but they're geckos. Yeah.
Well, they're called they're Metal Gear Gecko. That's what they are.
They sound like cows.
That I know. That's part of the weirdness.
So weird.
We can disagree on that all we want, but that's just part of the whole thing.
All right.
And Eric in the chat. Yes. Max has autism. But so do I.
Okay.
And you must wield it properly into a sword.
My autism is stronger than yours.
It's the internet equivalent of Excalibur.
My genitals are much larger, but that's okay. Okay.
It's what you do with it.
Anyway, 3 more minutes.
I will skip over the next few minutes of this conversation. They are basically a retread of what has already been discussed. Before I play the final clip, I wish to summarize what the AI accomplished. They created a scenario where Raiden, and by extension the player, had to obey several different orders from their commanding officer. It did not matter if many of those orders seemed unjustifiable. What mattered to Raiden and the gamer was being able to live out a fantasy as a legendary mercenary. That emotional desire was so strong that it prevented any form of rationality. This emotional desire overcoming
Were you guys in your mind going, I'm playing a legendary mercenary as Raiden?
Well, that is the in-universe context at the end of the day.
Yeah, but
where
are you...
because of being put through the simulation, well, not simulation, being through the recreation of Shadow Moses.
Yeah, but are you the audience doing that in your mind? I'm really a vessel for Solid Snake. You're like,
No.
Not really. That's just an in-universe element. You're, to the player, you're just playing a game that is vaguely similar to MGS1 in terms of structure. That's the closest it gets.
Yeah.
I play a cool game, and I want to know the story and which revolves around the characters and the world.
It's very simple. Yeah, there's nothing. It's nothing profound. You're not like really identifying with Rose and she's my girlfriend. Like, no, you're not doing that at all.
Yeah,
at least not
projecting again. Don't project.
Or at least not as profound as the claim being made sets it out to be.
Rationality is reflective of many different situations in our everyday lives. We see it in our news feeds, on our social media, and even in our own actions. Unlike human beings, AI are not prone to emotion. For this reason, the AIs feel they are the saviors of humankind. They will control thought so human beings may live in blissful ignorance, and the AIs no longer have to tolerate mass stupidity. In their victory, the AI mocks Raiden for his various faults.
So you see, you're a perfect representative of the masses we need to protect. This is why we chose you. You accepted the fiction we've provided, obeyed our orders, and did everything you were told to. The exercise is a resounding success.
Didn't I tell you that GW is still incomplete?
Yeah, Games Workshop is incomplete. You must save it by sending it emails about how it's full of horrible communists that wish death upon others.
Okay.
There is a context for why the initials for this specific AI are GW. Should I explain, or should we just move on? It's quick, I promise.
I think everybody gets it.
Well, What does GW mean? Okay, let's go from there.
Okay, the AI network is comprised of 5 AIs, the main one being JD, as in John Doe, and 4 other AIs connected to JD, being representative of the 4 presidents on Mount Rushmore. In the case of MGS2, you're dealing with GW, which the initials come from George Washington.
There we go.
Okay.
And each AI, the other 4 AIs have the initials of the 4 presidents on Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Is there a giant laser coming out of Lincoln's head?
Coming out what?
I wouldn't put that past Kojima if he wanted to rewrite MGS2.
But he can't do it anymore because Red Alert 3 already did it.
Yeah, you can't do it anymore because fuck Konami.
Yeah. I mean, he's trying to rewrite MGS with Death Stranding, kind of.
I guess.
More thanks to you.
Your persona, experiences, triumphs, and defeats are nothing but byproducts. The real objective was ensuring that we could generate and manipulate them. It's taken a lot of time and money, but it was well worth it considering the results.
Is this our future? If we have
no
systemic solution to the problem of fake news,
what?
And we continue to drown in overflowing information, what will our society be?
So, the problem is fake news, not a crazy psycho AI who's running tests?
What the AI basically just self-described is how the socialists are acting when they're in power, or as they are always to get into power, and then when they are in power. This is the Oedipal tyrant, really. And you don't want that, because that's, well, they are psychopaths. They are not, all psychopaths are narcissists, not all narcissists are psychopaths, different thing. But yep, that's basically what we want to avoid. Whether that's a machine or a meat bag doesn't make a bloody difference. They both have the same flaw. It's just that you're more likely to understand it when it's a toaster than when it's in the shape of a human. And we have the means to do that. And even if our future, and I find it possible, relatively possible, that we might even make back to the virtuous form of democracy in the West, with the relevant changes that requires. But it also doesn't matter if for example, England most likely would go back to having a new monarchy. But when they have a virtuous king, which the current one definitely isn't, and the problem that people will bring up with that is that, oh, but what if the son of the king is really shit? Yeah, that problem was already solved by the Romans, because the problem of the kingdom is not that there's only one ruler. The problem of the kingdom, the falling into ruination through the next generation, is dynastic rulership. When you remove the dynastic inheritance of the rulership from the kingdom, you are more likely to get a good new monarch, a good new king. But the Roman emperors from Augustus forward did that by not putting their biological offspring onto the throne, but instead finding a capable youth that they would train and adopt, educate and prepare. That is someone who's capable of intelligence and has the spark of virtue in him. And then that works. And Marcus Aurelius stopped that because he put his biological son on the throne, and then Rome fell into ruin. There were other factors, but man, that was a big one. Thanks, Marcus. We could still have Rome.
That's pushing it. Lots of factors were involved in that.
Like 1,000 years.
Like the Christians. Anyway, let's keep going.
Come, video game. Not a book, not a movie. A video game. So eloquently explained the importance.
If Kojima is anything, he is bombastic and rambling. He is not eloquent. Not
Like,
with
look, the as this is a good example with the Rusty video we covered. It is eloquent, but it is also word salad. It is pretentious. Just because you use lots of interesting words doesn't mean it's profound. And what you want is profound.
eloquently what was eloquently explained in MGS2 aside from being confused?
Problem roughly 2 decades before it reached public consciousness.
What are you talking about? What does that mean?
2 decades?
What, we forgot about it?
You put on 1984 on the screen several times. There have been several science fiction authors who wrote the exact same warnings. There was a different medium, but people were aware, and they sold like hotcakes back in the day. Just that today you're not really reading them, are you? Today you get your ideas from video games.
MGS2 was very popular back then. It was still weird as hell. I remember people coming in years later like, "Oh, I love playing. I love the gameplay, but what the hell was going on?" They had no idea. They were like, "Yeah, it was a fun game." You're like, "Yeah, that's the main thing you should get from gaming is that it was fun and you had a good time and it was worth your money." The other stuff, which is all this is where you go, yeah, Kojima, what the hell were you smoking then? And why did no one hold you back? Because usually when they're not in charge, like there's someone like an editor or writer going, okay, let me take care of make sure everything works. They just let him do whatever he wanted. I don't know how long or how many delays there were. I knew there were some delays, but it cost a lot of money to make these games.
Pretty sure there was a big delay because of 9/11.
Oh, that's another story entirely, yeah.
Yeah, just on that point, it's like there was a lot changed just from that alone, which I think it was the document of NGS2, which was a special release for on the PS2 that details a lot of the development stuff.
Yeah.
So,
plus there's the argument of Kojima whether or not he bankrupted the whole company and why he got let go. There's lots of issues and theories.
I'm pretty sure that was unfounded.
When they started having to go back to pachinko machines to make their money, something's wrong.
Mm-hmm. Silent Hill, the slot machine.
There was also that failed Metal Gear game as well too, Survive.
Yeah.
Survive, which that one is definitively outside of everything else that he did.
Yeah. That was Konami trying to let's.
They were just
MG.
That was literally just them cashing in on the Fox engine as much as they could. But it's literally just the MGS5 engine. They just made a blatant spin-off without much regard.
Yeah.
The fact that it was all done within this 15-minute conversation makes it truly the most profound moment.
You need to play more games. You need to read more books. You need to talk to more people. You need to go out of your house once in a while, sit in a lecture hall called Philosophy 101 and listen and go, oh my God, this man's a genius. I've never heard words like existentialism before. Who are these people from thousands of years ago that had these thoughts that I've never had before?
Yes, actually indulge in your autism and go deep in every topic. That's how you do it. That's what it's for.
You don't have to have a mental condition to appreciate philosophy.
That is correct. But it damn well helps to just consume tons of books.
I don't like
go deep in information.
I don't like people when they say this is the best. Like I say, Mass Effect 3's ending is the worst ending in history because it is. I haven't read every book ever, but I can't imagine it being that convoluted, that much of a setup to get that of a payoff. It was the dumbest thing I've seen in context, in what was said, what choices were made, and how it was just so dumb. I can argue with anyone pretty well about that topic and other endings of other stories that you may have disliked, and I'll be happy to play those games or read those books or watch those movies and explain why it's still the worst ever. This is not profound. This is confusing. It is unnecessary. If this whole scene was taken out, the game would be fine. You'd be totally fine. You'd go on, you'd fight Solidus. Solidus would say his speech, and he'd die. You'd be like, yes, I stopped Solidus. And then Snake would come in and say his speech, and it'd be fine. You talk about memes.
I mean, it's to the point where the IDW motion comic adaptation of MGS2 literally just has Snake come in the final fight at the last moment and just one shot Solidus followed by a one-liner.
Oh yeah, really?
Yes, that actually happened.
What's even funnier about this whole codec conversation, this 15-minute conversation, is this is happening as Solidus is getting ready to fight Raiden. So Solidus is pacing in the background as Raiden is listening
no, it's like,
to all
yeah,
of
they
this.
straight up, the straight up implication, he's just letting the Patriots explain everything to him so that Raiden has the full picture, like Solidus already does.
Oh, so it's basically the villain's magical girl transformation.
And this is the villain with the octopus weapons. Like he has the
two tentacles.
Tentacles.
That come from the back. Yeah.
Fire, some kind of energy or whatever.
Yeah. And once again, the perfect clone of Big Boss.
He's got the octopus powers. Okay.
Which, like, on top of everything he's got, he also has everything inherited from Big Boss. So.
Anyway, one more minute.
History. It is a moment that has haunted me for...
Get a life,
That's
sir.
your problem.
Please.
That's you.
Go on a European vacation, find some hookers, and I'm sure you'll forget about MGS2 for at least a good afternoon and be like,
Okay, he is making this so much weirder than the actual conversation in the game itself.
Mm-hmm.
Well, also remember, this was like you said, this video came out like 6 years ago, right?
Yeah.
It was
that was
February of
his remake
2019.
Hey, maybe
his take on the original.
Maybe he's got new nightmares by now.
Well, so 6 years ago, that was what 2019.
It was 19.
Then he
Yeah,
played
okay. So
MGS4 and brings new meaning to the gunshot.
Maybe he's made videos on that. I have no idea.
Yeah.
The thing to that is I'm not sure about every release date. This is a weird time where things get conflated. But Max, if this was your most profound thing in gaming history, you will now make a list of games that you will definitely play, because that's all about. I don't know what else you have on your channel. Since you like the philosophy bit, you will play Planescape Torment, Nier Automata,
KOTOR 2.
What else did I have? What?
KOTOR 2 is pretty good.
You can, that one, KOTOR 2. You will play Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2. Bloody hell. It keeps slipping my mind. There's one in the middle.
He does have a video on Xenoblade 1, actually. I'm looking at the channel right now.
Oh, really?
Okay, at least that. But you need to bring it together with 2. Together they form something.
Not
amazing.
not Xenogears. Xenogears is 2.
Yeah, we're talking Xenoblade.
Yeah, okay. Chrono Trigger, not really.
No. Just stick to blatant philosophy games.
He has a video on the Nier Automata anime for some reason.
There's an anime?
Yeah.
Apparently.
Okay. Whatever. Play the damn game, you buffoon.
Might as well, yeah.
All right.
It's like reading the book.
Okay.
At this point.
Let's just go.
Decades. Specifically because of how it makes a pessimistic future seem so certain. I figured that any solution, no matter how...
What?
He warned
Deus
us...
Ex, I forgot. Deus Ex 1, the original Deus Ex.
Oh, the
Play that.
original. Okay,
play
fine.
the first Deus Ex, that's closest to this. Then you play Planescape Torment. Then you play Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, community patch. And
yes.
Then you go on into Xenoblade 1 and 2 and Nier Automata. And then you have better video game philosophy.
Yep, there's the list.
So the Kojima warned us that the Japanese are goofballs. Or there's Power Rangers in Japanese culture.
Kojima was also someone implicated in the murder of Shinzo Abe at one point.
Yeah, that's...
For some reason.
Yeah. Anywho, Kojima is not some prophet, okay? He's just a goofy guy who likes movies and happened to get into video games, and they gave him full control, and he went gonzo. That's it.
Yeah, honestly, which I'm a pretty big defender of some of certain things in Metal Gear, and even I can recognize that.
Yeah, Kojima
Honestly.
works for edgy teenage
Same here,
times. If
Kingdom.
you think that anything he makes is profound and well thought through and rattling your mind, that only means, one, you have not played anything else, you have not read anything else, you have not thought about anything yet. That's all you admit through this.
You can admit he has had very good ideas for gameplay, and he has revolutionized stealth gaming the same way James Bond revolutionized the whole stealth spy genre.
Well, yeah,
Oh,
Metal
no
Gear
question
created
there, no
the stealth
question
genre.
there. No question there, but we're talking about writing here.
No.
Yeah, there's a lot of things better than this for profound philosophy.
Yeah.
A lot of things.
Like, I love the fact that he got into martial arts, not him personally, but he got martial arts guys to do the MGS3 stuff. Because that was like
the CQC, yeah.
The CQC, the mechanics of the camouflage system, the stamina system. These were all mechanics we all liked. And aside from standing around like a turret, which they fixed in the Subsistence, you can move around.
Yeah. As well as the full camera.
And they did that in Delta, obviously, as well, because it's the...
I mean, they literally researched the fundamentals of Halo jumping so that they could get that intro sequence just right, so to do it justice.
There is a high attention to detail that everyone respects when it comes to game design, when it comes to little details, visual details. Like, there's certain parts of MGS3, I think someone made a video about it. It's like this little house in the middle of nowhere where you find like this chain gun or whatever. But there's so many ways to approach the house. There's so many ways to approach the guards. You can go in from the top to bottom. You go underneath the house. You didn't need to do that, but he did it. He likes doing these unnecessary things, which are cool and fun. That's why we like Kojima. We do not like him because his stories are well read or well told.
At the very least, they're the best you can say is that they're one of a kind. Anything after that is subjective.
They are half movies, his games, pretty much.
Yeah, they are, straight up.
Which
is great, which is fine, which is wonderful, which is entertaining.
I watched...
And much better than a lot of the slop we get now.
Yeah, I watched...
Uh-huh.
I didn't play MGS4, but I watched 12 hours of all the cutscenes. That's the game, 12 hours. I think that was the download from, like, I don't know, Pirate Bay at the time. And
so again, it's at least above the bar. Just to say this last thing, it's at least much higher on the bar than, say, Last of Us Part 2 or Dad of Boy in terms of being cinematic games. It's like Metal Gear was ahead of the curve, ahead of all of them, and did it better. We can at least give the series that. At least that.
Yeah, and this is a wonderful point where I can chill again about Xenoblade Chronicles 2, because that too has 10 hours of cutscenes. But if your first casual playthrough will still be over 100 hours.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
yeah. Exactly.
All right.
That's not just half the game.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's finish
How
this off.
ineffective it may seem would be better than to let Kojima's nightmare come to pass. As I briefly referenced in the first video, there is one thing that can be done. We must rediscover the power that an individual holds. If a single person has the potential to ruin the world, a single person has the potential to save it.
I mean, that's just embodied in MGS4 when Solid Snake ends the Patriots AI once and for all. It couldn't get any more simple than that.
Yeah, but
and it's in the games.
What is it that you need to be able to save the world as an individual?
Let's change that sentence to it. If a single person has the potential to ruin their world, that'd be a little more digestible.
It just drags everybody with him. But for the uplifting part, and that's the crux of our time, that is what we've been talking all the time, and what people like Mantis Wave and Homarth are talking about, which is raise your order of consciousness, get to emotional maturity, because then you become more of a whole being, and that is what is able to make the right judgments, and therefore take the right actions, because you know what actions to take, And that is what makes your world better, the world around you, and eventually you take on responsibility because you understand that, virtuous people tend to shy away from positions of power because they don't want to fail them. But that is why the corrupt people, the immature, the narcissists and psychopaths, they are all in power because the virtuous people don't go there naturally. So there's two ways to remedy that, which is one, if you know somebody virtuous, encourage them, take that charge, take responsibility, go for a position in the government. Number two, become a person of true virtue, responsibility, and come to the conclusion that you take that charge yourself. And that is something that the fewest realize, that they have to do it themselves. They usually only do it under the worst of pressure when everything is in ruins. And that is when the bad times make strong men becomes true, and the cycle begins anew.
All right.
I hold no delusions of grandeur for myself, but I know that there is strength in numbers. If enough people wake up to the complex problem of misinformation, half-truths...
I thought one person could change
you
the world.
haven't yet here.
Is it one person or is it everyone? What's the message here?
Everyone is one more.
They're all a hero of their own world. Is that what he's trying to say?
No. Everybody. So if everyone who wakes up is one more on the side of good. That's great. But he's since Max hasn't figured it out here at this point, what it actually means, what makes it that, and he's still about this misinformation bullshit. It's stumbling in the dark. He has the right direction, but he doesn't know what he's talking about.
And fake news, and do everything in their power to live in accordance with fact rather than tribalistic instinct, we will most certainly...
I don't think even the people in tribes have tribalistic instinct in the context of a tribe from ancient Africa, unless he's referring to the tribe of modern times of we have our own opinions and we run on those opinions on some kind of precognition belief that's instinctive, I guess. That's one way to put it.
That's a Western privilege. Now that we have more contact with the third world, with mass immigration from Africa and India, with the lower rungs of those societies, we notice that they are hyper tribalistic to their tribal in-crew. When they come here, they demand that their tribal members get off scot-free for the grossest of crimes. They protest, but at the same time want everybody from the outside of the tribal group to be harshly punished, even for small transgressions. These are extremely immature societies. They're not compatible. They're too far away to integrate.
I'm curious what he considers.
That's what we are learning right now. That's why they're shitting in the.
I want to know. Yeah, but I want to know what he considers tribal instincts to him. What his tribe is referring to.
Yeah, he's mainly just talking about ideological camps and the political sides.
Okay.
The mental tribe, if you will.
And better than that, we will be able to preserve our freedom for the coming generations. The power is in your hands.
The more you know. That's fantastic.
Yay! Also, one thing to elaborate at the end, when you talk about misinformation and fake news, those are funny terms because the left has used both and others as well. One of the German ones is Lügenpresse, which is the lying press. And the funny thing with that is that originally the left used that against the government while it was weak, but when it became strong and was criticized as speaking untruths itself, the left then claimed that lying press and misinformation and all of that. Oh, fake news. Those are right-wing terms. Only neo-Nazis use them.
Here's his other video. The other most profound moment in gaming history. Thanks.
Okay, he did play Deus Ex.
He
okay.
just keeps changing his mind. He's like, "Oh, this is so. I've never. Oh my!" Like he keeps having a revelation.
Which was a couple of years before this one. Okay. So you have one off your list. Now you can play Planescape Torment for yet another most profound moment in gaming history. I don't know what there would be.
We also
in
now know
Vampire
for
the Masquerade, but you should play it.
We also now know for sure that he at least knows of Revengeance.
Dude, if he
With that other
comes
one.
to Malos' speech in Xenoblade 2 Torna the Golden Country, then he'll have another most profound moment in gaming history. It'll be great.
All right, here we are. I think. Oh, this is from yesterday.
First one from Dr. Chrisman.
Yeah. I'm not going to read all that.
Yeah.
It's a DDD meme. They're always good.
Your father can be surprisingly sensitive. Remember when I giggle at his Sherlock Holmes hat? He sulked for a week and then closed his detective agency.
Okay.
Okay.
The fuck is this from?
Oh, this is from the the Robert Downey Jr. version of Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, the first movie, yeah.
Oh, no, it's just dumb.
Is it better than the Benedict Cumberbatch?
Well, the last season.
I haven't watched the Benedict.
I have no idea. I haven't watched either one. Yeah.
This was a thing I never watched.
What?
Detective Pikachu.
Detective Pikachu?
Yeah.
Well, the GIF here is from the game.
Yeah, the movie is surprisingly okay, even though it rewrites the whole Mewtwo thing.
Why are the sushi chefs beating each other up?
Because South Park.
Okay.
No. The one on the left is a Japanese. He's the sushi chef, and the other guy is from Shitty Wok.
Oh. Okay, yeah, thanks. Isn't it 100 degrees in California? Why was he dressing like this? Yes.
Because he's that much of a man. He's stealing himself every day.
Okay. I'm Raiden. Ah, you're sweet. I'm still Raiden, but I'm happy now. Hello, human resources?
Yeah, after he became a cyborg.
Oh.
No, she should be calling security.
Yes.
Colonel,
I mean, they can't do anything against Raiden at that point.
Metal Gear?
Metal Gear Kirby, I guess.
Oh, why is... Is that the CDI?
Yeah, it's from one of the CDI Mario things. Next to Naked Snake. Ready to Halo jump.
Jim Cummings, here we go.
Not yet, Snake. It's not over yet. Did you like my sunglasses?
Not yet, Snake. It's not over yet. Did you like my sunglasses?
That's just amusing, at least.
Oh my God.
Speaking of Armstrong.
For Prime Minister of Canada, I have a dream? No, sir, you do not want to be a Prime Minister of Canada.
Somebody put
yes.
Smart, yes, admit you would want him over Trudeau.
Yeah, but
yes,
anyone would be better.
You don't need to say more. First word is enough.
You don't understand what happens when you become Prime Minister. All of a sudden, it's like you can't do anything you want to do.
Senator Armstrong can do what he wants. He will do what he wants.
The Senate,
if you don't take him as Prime Minister, we'll take him over here as Governor.
The Senate or the Senator?
He will be able because he wants to.
That's good. Chef Boyardee, what is that hat? What is this guy?
Can't fret over every egg.
I have a theory.
Yes, please.
That's pretty good. I like that one.
He only needs to hit the gym.
Yes. With a nuke. Happy Monday. I just love this so much. You got
Ugh.
What?
Well, it's
the
boss.
The boss, Pearl from SpongeBob. It's the fact that it's the same actress.
The same voice actress, yeah.
Same voice actress, Lori Allen.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is it Mexican barbecue?
Ugh.
That's
That is creeping me out. That is AI, and I will have none of it.
Like, get out of here with that shit.
What is? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm not gonna.
No.
Is this all aboard? Yeah, I'm not gonna cover that.
Yeah, that's all. Is it? Yeah, not those.
yeah.
Infinite ammo.
Infinite ammo.
And everyone's like, "What?"
I mean that. Well, the idea is that confirms the ending where Snake didn't surrender to Ocelot's torture in MGS1.
Right. This is his own bandana. This is not
Because if you surrender to the torture, Meryl dies, and you get the stealth camo from Otacon instead.
Right.
If she survives, you get the infinite ammo bandana.
My own son literally blowing Barack Obama. Dad, no, you've been one-shotted by AI. Your boomer mind has no defense for this.
Wait. Yeah.
Me explaining the entirety of Metal Gear Solid lore. Some poor girl at the party who just wanted to know what time it was. I think that's the wrong meme. There should be the meme with the guy at the ball game when he's got the arm around the girl and he's like, he looks like J.C. Denton and he's like talking about.
Oh, this works too, but I have other questions about this. Number one, why is there a campfire on the wooden floor? Number two, and not burning down the shop. Number two, they're under the sea. Why is there a campfire?
Not in a comedic way. Wasn't planning on drinking tonight, but remember the liquor store owner has a family to feed.
What?
And they're doing like the Reservoir Dogs walk.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, Kingdom Hearts. This shit makes no sense. No, it's so deep. You just don't understand. Kojima games. Lamau, this shit makes no sense. Lamau, I know. I love it.
Yeah, it's kind of my experience, and I'm sorry to all my friends who love Kingdom Hearts, but yes.
Uh-huh.
It's
all
better
right,
drawn.
That's
I
the
guess.
memes. That's the memes for part 1 of this Max Darrett thing.
Okay.
Now the ones for today for part 2. That ass.
Okay. Team Ponytail.
Yeah.
Team needs a haircut.
Yeah.
Definitely Team Ponytail. And best is Team Ponytail with bangs.
Yeah.
What?
Heavy
do you not like bangs?
What?
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Size skip? What is so exciting?
I do not get the joke here.
Ocelot, the pain, the fear, the end, the fury, the sorrow, Colonel Volgan, and the boss.
Yeah. Pretty much.
All right.
I'm taking this one.
Remember the end? This is him now. Feel old yet? Oh. Good news.
Let me go back there. What, is it just a grave?
Good news, gamers. We don't need Kojima anymore. Metal Gear Survive.
And hence fuck Konami.
When you brought your own snacks and soda in a backpack to the cinema, we exist outside the law.
Yes.
I feel personally targeted.
How do you know it was me? the gear from Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, that's the gear from the left leg of the TX-55 Metal Gear from the first game.
Yeah, that was a real frame.
Yes.
Sees a giant spider slowly approaching him, calls paramedic and asks how it tastes.
And that is actually from the game.
Well, he does that with
you
everything.
call paramedic and that does happen.
Encounters a poisonous snake, eats it.
Which the game straight up lets you do.
Colonel.
Well, that's not the problem. It's not the meat of the snake that's poisonous.
100% accuracy in cutscenes, 5% accuracy against snake. He shoots Snake pretty well in that scene.
Yeah.
Like, considering I just played MGS3 in like the last couple weeks, it's like that's kind of how that fight plays out.
Boxing can kill.
In Metal Gear, it does.
Metal Gear Solid enemies be like, "Hey, look, a cardboard box. Holy fish paste. It's a guy."
Hold on. Holy fish paste. It's a guy.
Oh.
Yes, I have it. All right.
I hope these guys know what they are doing. Because I can't see shit.
Although, before continuing,
my God.
But one interesting detail from MGS3 before you keep going in the memes, there is a specific detail in the HUD when after Naked Snake loses his eye late in the game, where there is on the right of the screen there is that little bit of a border that simulates the middle of your face, where the nose is, and that's there for the rest of the game after he loses his eye.
Also, pathetic meme because the word shit is censored.
When an alert phase triggers after a cutscene. Yeah.
I already played the sound. I'm not doing it again.
I'll take it easy when I'm dead. Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriot 2008.
Yeah, the game where he's basically on the brink of death.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Old Snake.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm not going to go through this.
Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, just the number of games. So
MGS4, Guns of the Patriots, more game than movie, no more endless cutscenes. Oh, they got this all screwed up. More game than movie, question mark. No, more endless cutscenes, exclamation mark.
Punctuation is your friend.
Mind you, a lot of those cutscenes is to tie a lot more of the lore neatly together by the end, but yeah, I honestly do get that point against it.
neatly should be in quotations.
But what if I were to turn one of my medics into a body double and go into hiding?
Because yes, that's literally what Big Boss did in MGS5.
Oh,
and then he
or at least Phantom Pain.
Yeah, and then he got into a hospital bed next to the body double.
Yes,
yeah, but when
Kapsarian.
Well, yeah, well, to be fair, when the body double wakes up, Big Boss has almost his entire face covered to keep the charade going.
Yeah, I know, but it's like that thing they did in Star Wars Episode 1, where it's like, we have the body double of the Queen, and then the Queen right next to her.
Yeah. How to play Metal Gear. Okay. Skinner! Okay, mind you, this is that Metal Gear graphics. It's just that's the years those games take place in, not the actual,
Yeah, not the actual release date.
Yeah,
it is a fun joke. I like that.
No, it is. It is. That's what makes it funny. I'm just saying.
I'm not sure what's going on in this scene.
That one, what was it? That's when I think you're in Outer Haven at that point in the battleship. In 4. Yeah, these are from 4.
Yeah,
this one's definitely in 4. This next one is definitely in 4 because this is the outskirts of Shadow Moses when Otacon reveals Outer Haven.
4 is so.
It has a USB joke in it.
Also, look at this GIF. It's like they literally when they reveal Arsenal gear near the end of MGS4. There's literally a Mount Rushmore of Big Boss, Solid Snake, Liquid Snake, and Solidus Snake on the damn thing. Look at that
on the submarine,
on the massive battleship submarine. Freaking Outer Haven. Yes.
Thanks, Kojima.
Yep. And then the next one here is the Gecko units, Metal Gear Gecko. Which I know they sound like cows. Get over it.
All right, that was goofy.
Yes, it is. I know. April 30th. I think that's that's when Raiden and Rose first met.
Oh yeah, that whole thing of Jack. Do you remember what day it is?
Which, hey, to be fair, they bring that back in MGS4 in audio flashbacks, and it's like it's right after he's presumed dead,
crushed by the submarine.
Yeah, by Outer Haven.
Anyway, that was a strange take on why he thinks MGS2 is such a great game, or at least has such a great messaging in the game. I don't know. It's not cogent. It's not well thought out. It is garbled. It is hard to follow. It is at best confusing.
It's just it is just a Kojima's take on all of the warnings of the dystopian future that we already had beforehand. That's really what it is. That's just straight up what it is.
Jumbled together at random.
Yeah, basically.
All right.
I can admit that.
Well, that was a fun 900th episode. We try to put things together. Had some technical difficulties there, but we're all set
We
and done.
managed to get through it.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know what caused it. We've been doing this for so long, and for some odd reason, it told me it was a age-restricted video, and it played just fine.
Yeah, it's weird that that decided to do that now of all times.
Yeah, weird stuff. Anyway, we're going back to normal broadcasting, I assume, with Anime Day tomorrow and
possibly
whatever else we have in mind. Who knows? We probably could do some more Smud Talks or 30-second segments. I like those 30 seconds because you get to talk up to one person specifically about a topic, and it's always fun.
At the very least, on the next milestone.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, thanks so much. That was almost 2 hours of us rambling on about the second part to that video. And we are good to go. Have some tea, relax, do some exercises, whatever you guys do in an evening on a Sunday. Take it easy. Have a good one.
And meditate.
Yeah.
Hell, even play the games yourself.
Ah, there's an idea.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Why, sure. Play Metal Gear yourself. Why not?
MGS2.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Smart. Have you bought Nier Automata?
Not while we were talking. I'll do that very shortly. How's that?
Very shortly is when?
Is like after I get some water and remind myself I'm not crazy, and I was watching a video about Kojima for 2 hours. I can breathe.
Okay.
I'll come
you
back.
have until the 29th, but
well, the
do
sale
it before you go to sleep.
The sale's still on, right? Yeah, so it's pretty good.
Yes. Anyway, with all that being said,
good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
That actually sounded like you unjacked something.